All right, let's dive in. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a microscopic secret weapon. It's an invisible suit of armor that some of the world's most dangerous bacteria use to survive right inside our bodies. So let me start by asking you a question. What do three incredibly serious diseases, we're talking bacterial pneumonia, meningitis, and even anthrax, what do they all have in common? Now, they're caused by totally different bacteria, but they share one deadly little trick. The answer? They all rely on an invisible suit of armor to do their damage. It's a biological shield that makes them incredibly hard for our bodies to fight off. And this armor has a name, the bacterial capsule. So in this explainer, we're going to break down what it is, what it's made of, and, this is the best part, the brilliant way scientists have turned this very weapon against the bacteria that use it. So what is it exactly? Well, you can think of it as this protective coating made of these long repeating molecules, kind of like beads on a string, that just wraps around the bacterium. But the key phrase here is major virulence factor. That's really just a fancy way of saying it's the main thing that makes a bacterium dangerous. Seriously, without this capsule, many of these pathogens would be almost harmless.
Okay, so if it's a shield, what's it actually made of? It's not metal, it's not Kevlar. No, it's something much, much simpler and a lot more common.
For most of these bacteria, this incredibly powerful shield is made of polysaccharides, which, believe it or not, are just long chains of sugars. It creates this thick, kind of gooey layer. But, nature always has a few curveballs. The bacterium that causes anthrax, Bacillus anthracus, it uses a capsule made of protein instead. It just goes to show how nature can find different ways to solve the same problem. Which brings up a pretty good question, right? If it's basically just a transparent, sticky layer of sugar wrapped around a microscopic cell, how on earth do you even see the thing? That's kind of like trying to see a layer of clear jello around a single grain of sand. Well, the answer is this wonderfully clever lab technique. Instead of trying to stain the capsule itself, which is tough, scientists use something called an India ink stain. It colors the entire background dark. The capsule, though, repels the ink, revealing this perfect, clear halo around the bacterium. It's a really beautiful way to see something that's supposed to be invisible. Okay, so we know what it is and we know how to spot it. But what does it actually do? I mean, its function goes way beyond just being a passive shield. This capsule gives the bacterium a set of incredible superpowers that are absolutely key to its survival. Superpower number one, and honestly, this is the big one, immune evasion. Think of it as a biological invisibility cloak. See, our immune system has these cells called phagocytes, and their whole job is to hunt down and literally eat invading bacteria. But this sugary capsule is incredibly slippery, and it masks all the markers on the bacterial surface that our cells would normally recognize. Our immune cells just can't get a grip, letting the bacteria slip right past our body's first line of defense. Second, adhesion. That same sticky, sugary layer helps bacteria cling to all sorts of surfaces inside our body, like the lining of our lungs or even on medical devices. It also helps them stick to each other, which is the crucial first step in forming something called a biofilm, a kind of fortified bacterial city that's extremely hard to get rid of. And superpower number three, resistance. That thick capsule acts as a physical barrier, which can actually stop some antibiotic molecules from ever reaching their target. Plus, it traps water, which protects the bacterium from drying out if it finds itself outside the body. So it's a shield, a grappling hook, and a canteen, all in one. So now that we know its powers, let's meet a few of the most notorious villains that use this potent weapon. Think of this as a quick, most wanted list of encapsulated pathogens you've probably heard of. I mean, just look at this lineup. You've got Streptococcus pneumoniae, a major cause of pneumonia. You've got Neisseria meningitidis, the bacterium behind that terrifying meningitis. And of course, the infamous Bacillus anthracis. The one thing connecting all these very different, very dangerous pathogens, they all depend on that capsule to make us sick. Which all leads to this massive challenge. So how do you fight an enemy that your own immune system can't even see? How do you attack something that's protected by such an effective invisibility cloak? Well, this is where the story takes a truly brilliant turn. Scientists came up with the ultimate counterattack. They figured out how to use the bacteria's greatest weapon against itself. They turned the armor into a vaccine. The core idea was just absolute genius.
They thought if the immune system can't recognize the bacteria hiding under the capsule, then let's just train the immune system to recognize the capsule itself. Let's make that invisibility cloak the one thing our body is laser focused on finding.
So here's how it works. Scientists take those sugar molecules from the capsule and harvest them. By themselves, these sugars don't really trigger a strong immune response. So, and this is the key trick, they attach them to a harmless protein. When this combo gets injected, the immune system sees the protein, sounds the alarm, and starts creating antibodies that are perfectly designed to recognize that specific sugar pattern. And just like that, the body is trained. The next time the real bacterium shows up, those antibodies immediately spot its invisibility cloak and mark it for destruction.
And has this strategy actually worked? Oh, you better believe it. It's been one of the greatest triumphs of modern medicine. Vaccines like the pneumococcal vaccine and the Hib vaccine are based on this exact principle. And they have dramatically reduced, and in some cases almost eliminated, certain types of childhood meningitis, and have saved millions of lives by preventing pneumonia.
It really just perfectly captures the whole strategy, right? Turning the bacterium's greatest strength, its defensive capsule, into its single greatest vulnerability. So think about that. We took a biological shield that bacteria spent eons perfecting, and we re-engineered it into a homing beacon for our own immune system. It's just an incredible story of scientific ingenuity. The capsule started as a shield that we turned into a cure. It really leaves you wondering, what other microbial secrets are just waiting for us to unlock next?